Right, guys, what is going on? Buster Barnes here with a little bit of a different video today. Obviously, you guys see me a lot of the time talking about Premier League football, mainly the team I support, Chelsea. You see fantasy Premier League videos, FIFA 21 videos as well. But as it is the international break, I thought why not actually have a go at talking about England. Now, I know what you guys are thinking, international break boring, do we even watch England play games? To be honest, I don't even watch every single England game, to be honest. Don't know if that makes me a bad fan, but just international games, really, I'm just waiting for the next Premier League match week to start. It's just especially under Gareth Southgate, who I don't rate that much, to be honest. I'll talk about that maybe a bit later. Just maybe not the most enthralling matches that England are playing at the moment, but I am going to make an effort to watch the games for the next 2 weeks. And also, I'm going to be trying to give you guys an idea of maybe the team that I'd pick going into the Euros at the end of the year. Obviously, probably not all of these players will be selected, but I think why not have a go? But if you guys do enjoy these videos and are looking forward to this new type of video, please be sure to leave a like, comment down below your England starting 11. I'll actually be giving you guys a 23-man squad, as I do think that is the usual number of players that travel to the Euros. I'm not sure if that's going to change. Maybe it'll be made a bit greater with all of the COVID and the congestion of fixtures. Maybe we'll see a bit more, but I'm going to go with the 23 for now. I'll upload another video nearer the time if they do extend it. But yeah, be sure to subscribe, guys, if you do enjoy. And with that said, let me get into what I think should be England's team going into the Euros. And what I think right now, by the way, right now, is their best starting 11. Not what I think will be the best starting 11 in the future. What I think is probably right now their best team. Okay, so in goalkeepers, we obviously have three options. There's Pickford, there's Henderson, and there's Pope. Maybe you could give McCarthy a shout because he's playing regularly. Dean Henderson obviously not starting that much for Manchester United, which I think a lot of people after last season would have said, yes, Dean Henderson has to be England's starting goalkeeper. To be honest, whoever the England goalkeeper is, people usually just dislike. Goalies haven't really had it very well for England for quite some time, so no one's ever going to be happy. However, I do think that if I'm going to pick one of those three to start, it is probably just going to have to be Jordan Pickford. He does play for the better team. He's maybe not a better goalie than Pope or Henderson, but I think Pope has had quite a poor season so far, to be honest. Henderson isn't playing regularly enough, and I think especially for a competition like the Euros, you need that experience of playing at a high level. I do think he had a game for Manchester United in the Champions League, but they even lost that game, so I'm not too sure. If Henderson does take over De Gea's spot, then I think we've got more of a debate. But I think as well, with the Euros being this year, I think it is just going to be Pickford. He's probably the person I would pick, even though I don't necessarily rate him loads. But yeah, Pickford for me is going to be the one that starts for us in the Euros, and probably is our best option just about now. But going on to the back four now. This could be a bit controversial. To be honest, I think centre-back wise we don't have great options anyway. But if I do start at right-back, actually no, I'm going to start at left-back because that's easier. Ben Chilwell is going to be the left-back. We don't have that many left-backs in England at the moment who are that great. Chilwell is clearly the best one. You have Luke Shaw behind him, who I think should probably be in the squad. It's really weird that he's not getting called up at the moment. We're just calling up a lot of right-backs, and whilst we have a lot of great right-backs, which makes sense, you think, who's going to cover for Luke Shaw at left-back? He's like putting Trippier at left-back, and I think, why even bother selecting Trippier at this point? He's old. He's not really a starter for us. He's not even that amazing. I think that Chilwell does have to be the left-back, and I think Luke Shaw definitely has to be the backup for him at the moment, as there's just not loads of great left-back options. But if I am going to get onto the centre-back duo now, centre-backs, like I said, just not the best options at the moment. And I guess you can kind of see why Southgate is playing a three at the back, because at the, maybe he thinks we need three centre-backs because we don't have the best options. But I'm not going to be playing three at the back, guys. I am going to be playing a 4-3-3 formation, which maybe could be moved to a 4-2-3-1. I'll get onto the personnel, though, in a second. But if I was going to pick a centre-back duo, I'm actually going to go for Maguire and Joe Gomez. Now, you do have other options. You have Mings, you have Dyer, you have Keane, who, again, not sure about any of them really. I think Mings and Dyer are going to be the two that I do put into the squad, as I'm only going to have two centre-backs. Maybe we'd have one more, but I am just going to get into that a bit later. But I think Maguire and Gomez, they're starters for Liverpool and for United, start consistently throughout the league. Maguire is United captain, so I think he could maybe bring a bit of leadership. I do think people are harsh on Maguire. I think he's better than people say he is, and I do think that maybe him and Gomez can complement each other at least. Maguire's sort of big, strong, bit aggressive. Gomez maybe has the recovery pace to clear up for England. So that's my sort of thinking. To be honest, I wouldn't be too against, Mings or other centre-backs, because I don't think any of them are that great, but I think if I had to choose, I would be going with Gomez and Maguire. But as I was a bit uncertain about the defence, I'm actually going to go for Kyle Walker at right back. Now, I know, don't shoot me, guys, I know that there's Trent Alexander-Arnold, and yes, he hasn't had the best start to the season, and that's not what I'm going off, but I just think that with the defensive uncertainty of our centre-backs, I do think you need someone like Kyle Walker to maybe cover up for that. He is solid defensively. Don't get me wrong, if I was choosing, I'd pick Reece James, obviously, because would be being a little bit biased, but I think Walker is the right man to do it. I do think as well, he's definitely one of the best right backs in the league. He's got the experience. I think right now and for the Euros, he definitely needs to be the right back that is starting for us. I think that after that, when we're going into the World Cup and other competitions, you need to maybe try and phase him out due to his age and bring up these other right backs. But I think if we're going to try and push on to have the best success in the Euros that we can, I think Kyle Walker has to be the one that starts. But I am actually going to have Trent and Reece James in the squad to maybe cover up for that. I think Trent has to be in there because he's still a quality right back for Liverpool. And I think Reece James adds a little bit of depth. This is what my thinking about Dyer and stuff is as well. Both Dyer and James can actually cover up in the midfield, and I do think that could prove to be very nice. I also think if we do use a three at the back, Reece James could actually prove to be maybe an even a better wing back than Trent Alexander-Arnold, as Trent doesn't really seem to thrive in the wing back role. He's more of a right back, so I do think that Reece James should be someone that actually needs to be in the squad for that sort of versatility role. Maybe Southgate would put another centre-back in there, as he does like to have his centre-backs in, but again, we've seen Walker be able to cover as well at centre-back, which I don't even think is the worst option, so that would be who I would pick for the defence. Let me know what you guys do think in the comments below, but if I'm going to get onto the midfield, I will probably be going for a 4-2-3-1, I think, but this could easily be a 4-3-3. Now, if I am going to go for the two holding midfielders, I know Southgate likes to be defensive. I'm going a little bit more attacking. I don't want... I think once Southgate went three at the back and then he had the midfield of Rice, Phillips and Henderson, that's just really boring. It might have been Dyer in there as well, I have no clue. I honestly don't know what Southgate's doing. He's very, very boring in style, and I think he probably fluked his way through the World Cup a bit as well, but I don't want to rant too much about him. But I do think if I'm picking my pivot, I'm going to go with Jordan Henderson and Declan Rice. Two leaders, two men that I think will respect and listen to each other. Henderson still is a quality player. Probably his last competition that he has starting at least for us, but I still think that he can really give it a go. And I do think that with the midfielders we have a lot of young midfielders, and whilst it would maybe be a bit more fun to have Rice as the holding player and have a Maddison and a Foden or a Grealish and a Mount, I just think that if we want to be a bit more solid and actually win some games, I don't think we're quite ready yet, at least experience-wise, to go with a really attacking team. So I do think Rice and Henderson will be that sort of pivot. You could also have Rice a bit deeper and Henderson a bit more forward into a 4-3-3, but the reason that I've gone for the pivot is to mainly accommodate the man who I've put at number 10, and that is actually going to be Jack Grealish. Maybe unrealistic, as Southgate seems to have some sort of vendetta against the man, but Grealish has been absolutely amazing so far in the Premier League. He was great last season. He adds a lot of creativity as well, and I just think he really needs to be given a go at starting for England. I think he's earned it. I think he wants it as well. Fights for it. Again, he's another captain, another club captain. Having all these club captains in your team with Maguire, with Rice, with Henderson could prove to be absolutely crucial, with Harry Kane as well, would be absolutely crucial, I think, to really getting through these games, grinding through results, and getting as high in the tournament as possible. So I do think that Grealish should start. Midfielders I'd have on the bench would be Mount and Foden to sort of cover for these guys. Like I said, Dyer and Reece James as well can always go into the more defensive phase of the midfield, so I don't think you need to worry about other defensive midfielders. Maybe people would argue for James Ward-Prowse, Maddison. I do think Maddison could potentially get in there over Foden. Depends really which one plays more and has more of the impressive season in my point of view. I think Mount gets in there mainly because of his pressing and just because of his versatility. Even though I don't like him on the wing, that is somewhere that he can play. But finally getting on to I guess the front three, if you play a 4-3-3, or at least the wingers and the strikers, what I'm going to go with. Going to go with Jadon Sancho on the right, Sterling on the left. Want to keep them in their main sort of positions. Jadon Sancho's really the only great right winger we have for England, so I think he has to start there. You could maybe, give an argument for Marcus Rashford, but I think he has to be on the left, and I think I would pick Sterling over him, probably just adds a bit more creativity, I do think. Harry Kane does have to be up front. I mean, he's having a great season for Spurs. He is England's best striker. I know some people like to rag on him, but I just think that, providing that he actually goes forward and doesn't come in deep, which is obviously a tactical thing, I think that he should be very good. And providing he can keep fit as well, I think he could be very big for us going into this tournament. So I do think that is probably the best front three. The other options I've got on the bench, guys, to make up the 23-man squad are Calvert-Lewin, Rashford and Abraham. Rashford obviously can cover on the wings and also up front, as can Mount, Foden. They can also play on the wings if you need them to. And then you've got, obviously, Abraham and Calvert-Lewin, who I just think they can really just cover in for Harry Kane. If you want to put two up top as well, I think they prove to be good. I think they're both going to have very good seasons. Maybe some would argue that maybe Abraham doesn't get in there. I think it'll be interesting to see how he does this season, and maybe that will be correct or not, I'm not sure. But like I said, it might not even be a 23-man squad because of how the season's gone and all the congestion and the lack of rest between seasons. I wouldn't be surprised if it got bumped up to maybe a 25 or 29-man squad. So I guess we will see when the Euros does come near. But this is more of an idea of what I just think our best team is at the moment. Probably, I guess you could say, the team that we should start in the Nations League against, Belgium or something like that. I do think that is probably the best way to go, as there's just a lot of leaders in that team. You look at it, you've got Walker, you've got Maguire, you've got Henderson, Rice, Grealish, Sterling even as well, experienced Kane. I think experience is the way to go, with a few younger talents in there as well who can always come off the bench as well. I do think that this is, in my opinion, the best England starting 11. Do let me know in the comments below what your guys' best England starting 11 is. I tried to keep it a bit realistic as well. And again, I'm not talking about, in 2 years' time. I'm talking about this season and what I think could go on to the Euros as well. So with that said, please do subscribe if you did enjoy this video and leave a like. And as always, I hope you guys do have a nice day, and I'll see you next time.